If even thinking about decluttering makes you feel exhausted, you're not alone. For many older adults, the thought of sorting through years, sometimes decades, of belongings can feel overwhelming. Where do you start? What if it's all too much? In the next few minutes, I'll guide you through one small, simple step that can break the cycle of stress and help you move forward without guilt, without pressure, and without needing to do it all at once. You don't need a big plan. You just need a starting point. This is the first step toward a calmer, more manageable home, and it's easier than you think. For many of us, clutter doesn't happen overnight. It builds up slowly, quietly over the years. A drawer filled with old receipts, a closet stuffed with just-in-case clothes, a cabinet with gadgets we haven't touched in a decade. It's the things we meant to sort, the memories we weren't ready to face, the items we thought we might need someday. And then one day, we look around and feel completely overwhelmed, frozen, ashamed, frustrated, maybe even a little defeated. You're not lazy, you're human. Life gets busy and emotions get tied to things. So if you're sitting there thinking, where do I even begin? You're asking the right question. And the good news? You don't have to do it all. You just have to start with one tiny, manageable step. Let's take it together. Today, we're not tackling the whole house. And we're definitely not aiming for perfection. We're starting with one tiny corner. Just one drawer, one shelf, or one surface. Something small enough to finish today, but powerful enough to make you feel a shift. Because the truth is, momentum starts with one simple win. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to take that first step, how to reduce the overwhelm, and most importantly, how to create a little more peace in your space and in your mind. Part A. Pick your spot. Let's take the pressure off right now. You don't need to clean the whole kitchen. You don't need to tackle the entire garage or sort through every photo you've ever taken. That kind of thinking is what leads to burnout, not progress. Instead, here's where we begin. Pick one spot, no larger than a shoebox. I really mean it. Just one drawer, one small shelf, a single tabletop, something you can see the edges of, something that feels doable. This isn't about getting rid of everything or making your home look like a magazine. It's about building trust with yourself again, trust that you can start something and finish it, that you can create clarity in a small area, even when the rest feels messy, that your energy, no matter how limited, is enough for this step. Maybe it's that kitchen junk drawer you've avoided for years. Maybe it's the nightstand that's collected old batteries, mismatched glasses, and expired lotions. Or maybe it's a spot that quietly nags at you every time you walk by. Start there. What you're choosing right now is more than a location. It's a signal to your mind that change doesn't have to be loud or dramatic to be meaningful. Small spaces carry powerful momentum. Still not sure where to begin? Ask yourself, which cluttered space stresses me out the most? Which one would make me feel lighter if it were clean? Which one could I realistically finish in 15 minutes? That's your spot. And here's something important. Your starting point doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to make sense to anyone else. This is your journey, and your home reflects your life, your memories, your seasons. We're not decluttering to erase the past. We're doing it to make the present more peaceful. So grab a chair if you need to sit. Keep a small trash bag or box nearby. And breathe. You've already done the hardest part. You've decided to start. That matters more than you know. Ready to move forward? Let's take a look at what to do once you've picked your spot. This next part is where the real shift happens. Part B, the 4-item rule. Now that you've chosen your one small spot, let's make the process simple and surprisingly gentle. It's called the 4-item rule. We're going to look at each item in this space and ask one very important question. Which of these 4 groups does it belong to? Here they are. 1. What you use daily. These are the practical, helpful items you actually reach for, not the ones you think you should be using. Maybe it's your favorite pair of scissors, your reading glasses, or the charger that lives in the same place every night. These items earn their space because they serve you regularly. White heavy check mark if you use it often, it stays. 2. What you love. This might be a photo of someone special, a little trinket that brings you joy, a note from a grandchild tucked in the back of a drawer. These things matter not because they're useful, but because they're meaningful. White heavy check mark if it warms your heart or lifts your spirit, it stays. 3. What can be donated. These are the items in good condition that no longer serve you, but could be helpful to someone else. That unopened candle, the extra measuring cup, the notebook you'll never use. These can bless another home. YW check mark if someone else can use it, donate it. 4. What needs to go? This is the expired, broken, unnecessary, or forgotten stuff. The dried up pens, the mismatched socks, the appliance manual from a toaster you haven't owned in 10 years. No guilt, no ceremony, it's simply time. YW check mark if it's not helpful or meaningful, it goes. Now here's the key. If something doesn't clearly fit into one of those 4 categories, don't let it stall you. Instead, place it in a small container labeled maybe. This maybe box gives you permission to pause without pressure. You don't have to decide everything today. Sometimes, clarity comes after a little space and time. Revisit that box in a week or 2 with fresh eyes. More often than not, you'll find you're ready to let more of it go. This system works because it keeps your decisions simple and focused. You're not organizing your life all at once. You're not reliving every memory inside every item. You're just asking, one by one, do I use this? Do I love this? Could someone else benefit from this? Or is it time to let it go? Let the answers guide you, not your guilt, not your what-ifs, and not your somedays. This isn't about being ruthless. It's about being kind to yourself and the space you live in. And remember, this is your home. You set the rules. If you're tired, take a break. If you feel emotional, that's okay. Sometimes decluttering stirs up memories, but each small decision you make is a quiet act of taking your power back. Coming up next, I'll share how to protect your energy so you don't burn out and how just 10 minutes can be enough for a big emotional win. Let's keep going. You're doing more than you think. Part C. Take breaks, not battles. Here's one of the most important lessons I've learned about decluttering, especially as we get older. You don't win by pushing yourself to exhaustion. You win by showing up, even briefly, and giving yourself permission to rest. So here's your next step. Set a timer for 10 to 15 minutes. That's it. When the timer rings, you're allowed to stop. In fact, I encourage it. This isn't a race. This isn't about pushing through pain, fatigue, or frustration just to check a box. This is about building a new rhythm that respects your energy, your body, and your emotional bandwidth. In younger years, we may have had the stamina to tackle an entire closet in a day. But now, our time and energy are more precious, and so is our well-being. That means we do things differently. We pace ourselves. Even 10 minutes of focused action can bring more peace to your home than hours of forced effort. That drawer you cleared? That shelf you simplified? That's real progress. That's something to be proud of. Why a timer? Because it sets a boundary that works with your mind, not against it. When you know there's a clear end in sight, your brain relaxes. It's easier to start because you know you're not committing to an overwhelming task. You're just committing to a few intentional minutes. And here's what often surprises people. Once the timer goes off, you might want to keep going. That's great, but not required. The win is showing up and doing something, not everything. So if you're feeling tired, stop. If you're feeling strong, continue for a few more minutes. Either way, you're moving forward without turning it into a battle. Also, notice what happens emotionally when you work in short bursts. You feel less resentment toward the process. You avoid the guilt that comes with biting off more than you can chew. You gain confidence that yes, you can do this in your own time, in your own way. This approach also builds consistency. When decluttering feels gentle and manageable, you're more likely to return to it tomorrow or next week. And that's what creates real, lasting change, not the big effort you do once, but the small habits you return to again and again. So go ahead, set your timer. 10 minutes, 15 at most. Let that be your container. And when it's done, celebrate. Step away. Make a cup of tea. Go sit outside. Call a friend. Whatever gives your mind a breath of peace. You've done something meaningful today. You took action, protected your energy, and honored your limits. That's powerful. Next, I'll show you how to wrap this up in a way that leaves you feeling even more accomplished, and a quick trick I use to lock in the calm of your newly cleared space. It's simple, satisfying, and you'll feel the difference right away. Let's finish strong. Part D, the feel-good finish. You've made decisions. You've sorted through what matters. You've taken a step most people put off for years. Now it's time for my favorite part, the feel-good finish. Here's what you do next. Take a moment to gently wipe down the space. A quick dusting. A warm, damp cloth. Nothing fancy. Just a simple act that turns this spot from cleaned to cared for. There's something incredibly powerful about this step. It says, this space matters, and so do I. And now, place back only the items that truly belong there, the things you use or love. No clutter, no maybe pile, just the essentials. Look at what you've just done. This isn't just a drawer or a shelf anymore. It's a calm corner in your home, and a reflection of the clarity you've created inside yourself. Wait till you see what I found at the back of this drawer. Yes, this is the moment where people often rediscover lost treasures. A long-forgotten locket, a letter from a loved one, a keepsake you didn't even know you missed. Let those small surprises bring joy, not guilt. If it sparks a memory or emotion, take a moment to appreciate it. You've made space for it to be seen again. Now, here's a gentle trick that helps you let go of sentimental items, especially the ones you don't need to keep physically. Take a photo. It sounds simple, but it works. That birthday card from 20 years ago, snap a picture, keep the message, and release the paper. The gift you were holding on to just in case the giver asked about it, capture the memory, honor the sentiment, and move on. This way, you're preserving the emotional connection without keeping the physical clutter. You're not saying goodbye, you're just choosing a lighter way to hold on. And here's the beautiful thing. This entire moment is your dopamine hit. You've taken a chaotic space and made it peaceful. You've gone from, where do I even begin, to look what I just did. That's not just organization, it's empowerment. This tiny success is visible, tangible. You can open that drawer, or look at that shelf and feel a wave of calm. And every time you see it, it'll remind you, you are capable. You can make change. You're not stuck. It's amazing how something so small can shift your entire mood. One drawer, one win. It's enough. And that's the trick to building momentum. You don't wait for motivation. You create it, with results you can see and feel. So take it in. Look at your finished space. Feel the relief in your chest, the lightness in your shoulders. And most importantly, give yourself credit. You didn't just clean. You reclaimed a little piece of peace, and you did it on your own terms. In the next part, I'll show you the full transformation and talk about how this simple act affects your mindset more than you realize. And if you're wondering how to keep this going, how to make sure it doesn't pile up again, I've got a simple secret for that too. Let's take a look. I started decluttering after realizing I was holding on to things from decades ago, things I hadn't touched in years, but couldn't seem to let go of. Old gifts, faded notes, even broken items that once meant something. I told myself they were important, but the truth was, they carried more guilt than joy. I wasn't keeping them because they made me happy. I was keeping them because I felt I should. Then one afternoon, I found a letter tucked away at the back of a drawer. It stopped me in my tracks. Just reading it brought tears to my eyes. Not from sadness, but from the reminder of a moment I had completely forgotten. And that's when it hit me. Some memories are meant to be cherished, not buried under piles, not kept in silence. That one letter reminded me why I was doing this. Not to erase the past, but to make space for the memories that truly matter. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing what to carry forward and allowing the rest to rest. This one small change made a huge emotional shift. I walk by this drawer every day and feel proud instead of stressed. It's no longer a reminder of what I've put off. It's proof that I took action, even when it felt hard. And that feeling? It ripples out. It makes the whole space feel lighter, more manageable, more mine. Decluttering isn't about doing everything at once. It's not about perfection. It's about starting. And today, you did. You took the first real step toward a calmer, more intentional home. And that's something to celebrate. Even one small win can lead to lasting change. What's the one space in your home you'd love to feel lighter in? A drawer, a closet, maybe even just one corner? Tell me in the comments. I'd love to feature it in a future video and walk through it with you, step by step. If this gave you even a small spark to get started, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe, because there are more simple, feel-good wins coming your way. You don't have to do it all. Just start here.